Hey everyone, welcome back. This is episode 6 of Two Large Ones. I'm here with ya boy Vince.
It's your boy.
It's my boy. Today we got two large ones for you, as always.
Always.
I wanted to talk about roast dinners.
Ah, roasties and roast dinners, excellent.
Roasties.
Yeah, roasties.
Is that what they're called?
Well, what, roast potatoes? Yeah.
Oh, right.
Roasties. Yeah. But roasties are a part of roast dinners. If you don't have roasties, it's not a roast dinner, is it?
That is true.
Yeah.
Everything
At
needs
that
to be
point-
roasted in a roast dinner.
Well, if you don't roast literally everything in a roast dinner, it's not a roast dinner, is it? It's a fucking it's just dinner. What's the point?
It's just normal dinner.
It's just regular dinner.
Wow, that's actually so insulting if someone cooks you a roast dinner and you're like, how is it? It's like regular dinner, really. Ouch.
You imagine somebody turns around and is like, I've cooked everyone a roast dinner, and then you purposely turn around like, thanks for the regular dinner.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not really roasted though. You didn't roast the gravy, did you?
Yeah, I mean, these fucking runner beans, you put them in the oven, did you?
To be fair, I mean, people who do like top tier roast dinners, they somehow do the gravy with the meat. Like it is the meat.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's how you do it.
How the hell do you do that?
Use the meat juice.
The meat? All that meat juice.
Yeah.
With or without bits?
I like it with bits, actually.
With the bits.
No, this isn't even a meme. Like, I don't know if this is a bit, but I'm not even kidding. I do like it with the bits.
I was like, I don't know, I was just thinking of like orange juice. With or without bits.
Yeah, you can actually have roast dinner gravy with bits. It's like, you have like little bits of the meat that was in there, or little bits of maybe cabbage or something like that.
Yeah, tiny chunks of.
Yeah,
you can call them chunks if that makes you feel alright.
Little chunks of decomposing animal or plant matter.
Matter, decomposing matter. Now with more matter.
Here's your roast matter. Enjoy.
I'm surprised, people haven't done that yet. Just
what?
Gravy you can buy as if it were orange juice, like in a similar, because you can buy soup in the same, like Covent Garden soup, not sponsored, although we will come onto that. You can buy that in the same packaging that orange juice is packaged in.
Yeah.
To keep it fresh and stuff. Why not gravy? Why not?
Because I think that you have to be a very specific type of person who can't go through the effort of just boiling a kettle. I think if you're that sort of person, then
But then food hipsters would be like, you have to be a very specific kind of person to buy a pre-made soup. And
I think soup is a bit different, though, right?
And then people are like,
With soup, you have to actually, there's a level of investment there, right? Whereas gravy, not really. Like, soup, you got different consistencies, thickness, you got chunks, chunks of, vegetables, you got meat, stuff like that. Whereas, I could understand wanting to have a pre-made one of them. Whereas gravy, I mean, it's literally just fucking dust in a box, and then you add fucking... you add hot water to it, and you're done, right?
It's not a fucking urn, mate.
Mate,
you confuse your grandparents' ashes for gravy.
It adds that little bit of spice. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. But it is essentially. It's just dust in a box. That's all it. It's dusty cubes.
Dusty cubes. The new.
Try new Bovril dusty cubes.
Oh no. Yeah, like those Vox Pop adverts where they ask people in the street. They do a blind taste test. So what do you
Which
think? It's just dust in a box.
it's just a dusty box, isn't it?
I've seen dustier boxes in my attic, if I'm honest.
Fucking got more flavour too, I swear.
How would you know that? he's like going, oh, it's dusty up here, and then like running their finger along a box and going, I wonder. And then just like
Oh,
straight in the gob.
I was imagining like they find the box and they're just like, listen, okay, it's my box, I can do with it what I want, and then they just fucking straight up lick it all the way along the side, and they're just
so
like,
grim.
nice, I can say I've done that now. Yes, that's one in the bag.
Oh, that's so grim.
Oh dear, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think there is a huge difference between soup and gravy because, yeah, I think we've proved a point right now. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
gravy is just dust, right?
Yeah, I agree. It is dust.
So
But it's like flavored dust, you know.
yeah, like sherbet
If
or
you
cocaine.
if someone was to tell you that, you know, the dust on top of the mantle tasted of beef and or chicken and or veg,
Right?
I mean, like you'd try it.
No, because I know dust doesn't. Because I've already tried it.
Oh God, you're that guy in the story, aren't you?
Yes, mate. Yes, I am.
Got that one out of the way.
I'm just there, just like, I wonder what all this bundle of dead skin tastes like.
Oh no, mate.
It's like Bovril, mate.
Oh, that's just so rough. Anytime I think of something that dusty, I think of like the tube tunnels.
True, very true.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Can you even like you know like the 5 second rule, right?
Yep.
That on the underground, it doesn't apply.
No, I mean with the London Underground, it's a case of if it's left your hands, it's no longer a viable product. It doesn't matter if you catch it midair; it's gone. It's too late. Just incinerate it and be done with it.
Yeah, you need to come to terms with that loss before it hits the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the sort of fluids that exist on the London Underground, and let me tell you, I ain't eaten nothing that has touched any part of any surface.
Yeah,
in that area.
Needs to be cleaned, mate.
Yeah,
thoroughly washed.
Absolutely, thoroughly. Like even one of my friends, like he blew chunks like you couldn't believe on the London Underground once, and I'm like, no. That is like an entire wall that I can never go sit by now.
Oh, no. Yeah, you kind of know.
It's just heinous.
That's
But then you think, like, that's one example out of, like, literally millions of people who travel the tube. Nah. I ain't looking to get my fucking pre-packaged soup today, mate. Absolutely not.
That's so grim.
Yeah.
You're, the London Underground chunky special soup.
I mean, that's what they call it.
That's what they call it over the tannoy. Old staff announcement, platform 6, chunky soup. Chunky soup. As if people don't know what it means. People are like, ugh.
They're just like, oh, nice one, bud.
They do have secret codes for the underground.
Yeah, I know a lot of them.
Like that. I can't remember. I know vomit's like number 3 or something, but I can't remember exactly how they say it with that one.
The worst one is the bomb scare one, because I memorized that one. I'm not actually going to say it because I just don't want people to know.
If you're interested,
you can find
Google
out. You can find out by googling it. But there is basically one where it's like suspicious package is what it's actually like official code name is, and like you hear that over the tannoy and you're like, well, I guess this was my stop.
The other one's a fire. That's Dr. Sands.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But even then, it's like it's super creepy because it's supposed to be quite inconspicuous.
Yeah.
Like quite chill, quite relaxed, so that people don't really get alerted. But they play those announcements louder than any other fucking announcement.
Yeah, super loud.
I've been there for a couple of tests of it.
Oh really?
Well, only by chance. Like when I was doing that London Underground visiting all the stations thing.
Oh yeah.
I heard a couple just throughout my travels on that. And it was a bit weird. It's usually a test, obviously, but
Yeah.
you can never be
I
too
mean,
sure.
hang on. Just for reference, so everybody understands what we're talking about. When we say the London Underground thing, the travelling, you actually went to every single London Underground tube station on the entire network for every single line, which is like over 5 stations. It's loads. It's actually kind of insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you did a video about it as well, and
I
you took
did.
pictures, and it's really, really good. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
I can link that down below. But basically, yeah. Someone who's a friend of mine called Jeff just said, here's a challenge
From
for
the Overwatch team.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, like a challenge for 2017 was to visit every station and cross it off on a tube map. And I kind of turned that into a bit of a photography project and did that. So that was a super fun time. Very fun indeed.
Do you reckon it's possible to visit every single station in like 2 days?
You can do it in one day.
Can you?
Yeah,
Is it possible?
there's a world record for it.
Interesting.
In fact, Jeff has had that record for three times, I think. He doesn't have it now, but yeah, it's shortest time to visit every station. World record. Yeah, which is crazy.
Wait, is that by underground, or do you just have to visit the station?
Yeah, so it's there's a few like rules and stuff, but you have to use the tube. You have to log the times in which you arrive to stations and stuff. You can get between tube stations via public transport, but not via like Boris Bike, I don't think.
Can you just run?
Yes.
Because I know there are stations that are legitimately just close enough
Yeah.
that it's faster to run between them than take the tube.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, you can run between them. Someone's actually posted a little infographic route, I think, where you can have a look at how they would travel it. But it does take a long time, like 12 hours or something. So it's like a full day of just
it's a full-on thing,
running around and doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty sick.
So I think the point that we're trying to make here is that roast dinners are quite nice.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's exactly the.
Yeah. If you're not using the London Underground to get to your tube dinners, these roast dinners,
tube dinner.
Tube dinner,
mate.
Yeah.
You've opened up a window into your world there.
What, tube dinner?
Yeah. Dinner from a tube.
Hell yeah! Give me that can of spaghetti.
What's like your biggest guilty pleasure food, which is absolute fucking trash? And you know it's trash, and it's not like, oh yeah, I can convince everyone else that this is good, or like convince yourself. Like, you know deep down, you're like, yeah, I shouldn't be eating this, but I don't care. I'm gonna do it.
Does that include things which I literally refuse to have more than X amount of times in a year? Because there is legitimately one food substance where I'm like, this is actually really nice, but it is so ungodly unhealthy that I refuse to have more than one of this item a year if I'm going to have one.
We could split the categories. I mean, that's definitely a category in its own right.
I mean, that is instantly the one that I'm thinking of, because that is the guilty food. Like, there ain't anyone on the planet that's gonna say, yeah, no, that's fine. You could totally have that, like,
every day.
5 times a week. Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Go for that one, but then also pick one that you have regularly as well.
Okay, so that one that I'm talking about is deep fried Mars bar.
Yeah.
Right? It's so fucking good, right? It genuinely is, but it's like, bruh.
Yeah.
You're just eating you're eating deep fried candy. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I've only had one of those once, and it was in Brighton.
I have had 3 of them, and I remember the first time I had one, I was like, I can't have another one.
Yeah.
this year. Otherwise, I'm just gonna fucking die.
That's so bad for you.
Yeah.
Literally the worst. So I asked the
That's-
guy serving, I was like,
yeah.
hey, do many people buy these? He was like, no. I was like, oh, right. Have you ever tried one? No. Would you ever want to? No. All right, one, please. That's £1.
Wow. Yeah, £1 as well.
Yeah. Uh,
It's genuinely, but it was nice, right? I don't know.
yeah.
You might not think it.
No,
It
it was
was though,
nice.
right?
It was good.
But afterwards, you just feel bad.
Yeah.
You're just like,
It's got
you're
like
just
the
like,
McDonald's
how
effect.
could I? Not really.
Like if you have too much McDonald's and you're like,
Oh, if you have too much McDonald's, okay, yeah.
yeah.
I just thought you meant just having McDonald's in general.
Oh,
Having
in
McDonald's
general,
in
no.
is all right. You can sort of tone that down to a point where you're like, I don't feel so bad about this. You know, it's just 6 nuggets. What's the harm?
It's just 6 nugget meals.
Yeah, it's just 6 20-box nuggets. I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah, that's so. What's your other food?
I don't know. Well, this is it. Like, there's only that one where I'm like, bruh, no. What is like another guilty pleasure that, in terms of food, that I can't really get other people to get on board with? Do you have one? Do you want to say what yours is while I'm thinking?
Yeah, I don't know. So, might need to ask the audience here if I have any weird food habits. But
Ask the audience.
yeah.
Oh, Shelley, right? Yeah.
But to be honest, no. Like I like if I can't be bothered to cook or whatever, I just bachelors do these like this cheese and broccoli pasta thing, which is like if you know when you open up something you're like it's just like a depressing.
Yeah.
You're like, oh fucking hell, this is really where it's at. So like those kind of things. And again, like I think they taste quite nice, and they're not too unhealthy for you, but they're not socially acceptable, shall we say?
True.
Like if someone at work was like, you have a good evening? I'm like, yeah, it's all right. Oh yeah, do anything nice for lunch? You're not going to tell them. Yeah, I just had some pasta. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Cold ravioli from the can. Cold ravioli from the can is the one, and that's the one where I'm like, yeah, I actually kind of really do like this, but I can't convince anyone else other than like I convinced like 2 people, and they were like, yeah, this is alright.
I've never tried that.
It's the cans that we're talking of. They cost like 40p. They're huge. They're like family portion size.
Oh god, dude.
They're like stuffed with mystery meat.
Yep.
The sauce is.
It doesn't. It doesn't say
like,
that on the label, as a selling point. Stuffed with mystery meat. Like it's just you're like, what is this?
No, it's just meat stuffed ravioli, and you're like, oh, meat. I like meat.
As a concept, meat is meat is good.
Meat ain't bad. But yeah, so and you just buy yourself a can of that, and you just fucking open it up and eat it. you don't even go to the bother of putting it in a bowl and microwaving it. You just fucking eat it.
Less washing up.
True, very true, and it's very filling, very very filling. It's cheap, it's filling. I mean, it ticks all the boxes, right?
Yeah,
what
that's
more
true.
Do you want? What more do you want?
I remember. I don't know why you've just reminded me of something I've not thought about in a long time. My uncle came back from Afghanistan, I think it was, in like early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought with him this crate of American rations, which they had like ditched over there because they didn't need it.
Yep.
And he gave it to my dad to pass on to like his cadets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Yeah, it was like we'd never seen American rations before. We'd only ever seen UK army rations, which are completely
Yeah.
different. And in there, they had this like chocolate protein bar, but me and my brother didn't know what protein bars were, and they're like obviously super fatty and like.
Mm-hmm.
And we did
And
like
calorific,
4 of
right?
them in like a night
Oh
each.
no! No!
I'd never felt that
Oh,
sick.
oh no,
I was
dude!
like, oh no. Ooh. I was proper beering. Oh
What a
yeah.
mistake!
Yeah. Oh mate, it was the worst thing. But they tasted so good. They were like between completely melted and like solid brownie type of consistency. They were like the
Yeah.
perfect gooey consistency, and I was like, "Wait, these are good." Yeah, and then me and Scott just like
Oh my
caned a few
god!
of them.
Oh my god, dude!
I don't remember anything else from that ration pack. That's the only thing I remember. The giant brownie things.
That like nearly killed you.
Yeah, it's just way too much protein. I'm like, I was literally, I think each they had the RDA for a fully grown man
Oh no!
in terms of protein. And me
Yeah.
and Scott at like 12 years old having 4 times the amount of protein that even an adult male needs. Yeah.
I'm just thinking of like that scene from The Lord of the Rings where the hobbits have eaten that bread.
Oh,
Where
the
it's
Lemba
like,
spread. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's basically what you were then.
That is true, yeah. Whoa. Oh man.
Oh, that's horrid, dude.
Yeah.
That's horrid. Um, yeah, no. I think those are my top two sort of guilty foods, as it were. Although I have a bunch of foods that other people just don't get on board with.
Oh.
So
Oh.
like people are upset with my unhealthy obsession about stuffing because I just think stuffing is good.
Nah, stuffing is
Right?
good, mate. Have you
Stuffing is just boom.
recently I tried the
Uh-huh.
the Bisto vegetable gravy,
Yeah.
right? Um that tastes like sage and onion stuffing.
Ooh, really?
So good.
Ooh, I might have to get myself some of that because that actually sounds piff. Right? I'm not gonna
So
lie.
we ran out of stuffing.
Uh-huh.
Shelley did a roast dinner um on the weekend, but we just bought that gravy and we were like, god damn it, we've got no stuffing, but we'll try the gravy anyway. And the gravy like made up for the lack of stuffing because it still had the flavour.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
I know. Oh, it's good.
It's funny that we're having this conversation actually because I actually ended up having a sort of similar conversation, not about stuffing, just about food stuffs, with some colleagues a day or two ago.
Oh yeah.
And one of the things that we ended up talking about was, have you ever had curried goat?
Curried goat. I think I have. Yeah. It's like a Jamaican
It's a Jamaican
staple,
dish.
right?
Yeah.
I have indeed. I've had it in like a roti.
Oh, nice, excellent. Yeah.
Mm.
So good, right?
Yeah.
Although I got called out for doing as they put it, a very white thing, which was to say a goat curry instead of curried goat.
A goat curry.
Yeah, because I was like, oh yeah, I've had a goat curry recently, and they sort of burst into laughter. I was like, that is a very like white thing to say. And then they explained it was from this like skit that they had seen where it was basically just saying the difference in like cultures and stuff.
Hey.
But yeah, no, like honestly, so we was talking about like food stuffs that we miss and all that, and I was just thinking, in Box Park in Shoreditch, there is this amazing Jamaican place, and honestly, the curried goat from there and the jerk chicken is just so goddamn good,
Oh.
so goddamn good. Honestly, even thinking about it is
Salivating.
Oh no, wait. It's sorry. I was gonna make a joke, and then I realized the lead up to the joke I fucked up. So I'm now quickly trying to divert from it.
It's fine. It's
I
fine.
wanted to say
We'll cut this whole bit out,
Jamaican
don't worry.
me crazy is what I wanted to
we'll
say.
definitely cut this bit out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's in.
Oh,
So
damn it.
yeah, but that does
I just
actually
want to
bring us.
apologise
Oh,
and
oh,
for
an
the viewers.
apology right before a sponsorship. Excellent. All right. Well, we have a sponsor this week.
We do indeed.
I can't remember who announced last week's one. It was you announced last week's one, didn't you?
Did I? Who was last
Yeah,
week?
I think so. Yeah, because we do it alternating in terms of who announces the show and then the sponsor.
Who introduces
yeah.
it? That's right.
So
yeah. So
I will
fire away, mate.
announce. Yeah, I will announce this week's sponsor, which is actually.
Yeah.
Now this is something that I've been personally using in my day-to-day life for a long time now.
Oh God, it's not that, is it?
Not the one you're thinking of. And honestly, I just really want to thank them for reaching out and sponsoring us, because without this product, I think my life would be a lot harder. It makes things a lot easier, and in all honesty, it's something that should be in every household.
Okay.
So really big shout out to those guys. Do we have a second section? What's our next topic?
Who was the sponsor?
Yeah, really big shout out to them. So what is next subject?
Hang on a minute. What's going on here?
What do you mean what's going on?
Did they pay you enough to say their brand name, or?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because the conversations that we had are still ongoing.
Oh,
and now
interesting.
Nothing is actually written yet. However, they could be. So I thought we'll give them like a tasty, juicy sort of teaser, right? A teaser as to what they could be getting if they came onto two large ones, right? so that's what I'm doing here. So, everyone go think about buying this mystery product. And really consider, the benefits of having it in your life. Because if you do that, then there's a good chance that this sponsorship will go through.
That's nice.
I mean, we're basically in the signing stage now. Actually, we're waiting for your signature, Craig. But yeah. You'll notice in there's a 60-40 split between myself and yourself.
Yeah. As long as I'm the 60, that's fine. Are we? Are we? It feels like it's like between me and you. You can cut this bit out, but it's the sponsor uncertainty this week.
Uncertainty. Ooh,
yeah.
I'm not sure. Sorry.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know what I was expecting there when I asked that. You don't sound so sure yourself, mate.
I was like, I have to. Oh dear, yeah. So it's actually a dual sponsorship, I think.
Yeah.
Between uncertainty and ambiguity.
Ambiguity, right?
Yeah, it's a two, because they
Whatever
couldn't
that
really.
is.
Yeah, I don't think they could afford the price that we were asking, which is sort of up there.
Yeah.
So
didn't you? I thought you said you put forward a price, and they're a bit like a.
Did I say that?
Yeah, I'm sure you did. And they were just they weren't very decisive about what they wanted.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even remember doing that. I don't think I did, but I could have done.
Yeah.
I
mean, you can't have a sponsorship open to interpretation. That's just not.
No, well, exactly, right. And I think this is where the conflict is happening now.
I see.
Fundamentally, their core values kind of go against, common business practice.
So you're like, here's the figure. Is that acceptable? And I don't know. We have to talk it over. And you're like, okay, cool. Let let me know. Is this date good for you? Oh, I really don't. I just really don't.
I think we may need to add a few zeros or take them away. I'm not quite.
Yeah.
It just. I mean, we're in the ballpark area. I just
But
think
the ballpark is huge, you know.
Yeah, and I think the ballpark is on another plane of existence. I'm not too sure right now as to what's going on. Listen, let me just speak to my boss, and we'll get it all sorted out.
Maybe, maybe.
Yeah, maybe we'll be able to get it sorted out. It's a great sponsorship, I think. So if you wanted to check it out, you can do so by clicking the links below, subscribing the YouTube channel, and favoriting the video and clicking the little bell icon.
Or
how's that?
Or not.
Or not. Maybe. Because that might not even give you access to the sponsorship, because we don't know if this is going through or not.
You'll know below.
It may not.
You'll know below.
It's like Schrodinger's sponsorship, right? We are both simultaneously sponsored and not sponsored for this segment.
Yeah.
Yeah. We might be.
That's
Who
true.
knows? Right? The second you observe the sponsorship, it disappears.
Well,
like an atom.
Well, that's good that we're really dragging it out so that then they know what they're missing.
Yeah. I'm hoping this could make or break them.
Yeah.
Really, because if they decide to go with the sponsorship, then they've gone against their own core principles, and what are we even sponsoring anymore? But if they decide not to go with it, well, I mean, same thing actually. So, yeah, this is a difficult one for them. It's a difficult one, but we know that all great people over there, love them to bits. We wish them the best. Derek, I hope you're well.
I like Derek, nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame about his food tastes, but
Yeah.
Who just eats fucking dust from a box?
Chili con carne from the can, cold.
From the floor of a tube. What a fucking madman!
Scooping up other people's chunky soup from the tube.
Mate, he hears that over the tunnel. He's like, "Whoa, lunch is served, lad."
Which platform?
Oh, still warm.
Literally, yeah. Running with his Tupperware box at the ready.
He's got the spork out and everything.
Oh, grim, dude.
Oh, Derek, sort your life out. Oh, we should laugh at him.
No.
It's bad.
You've lost the sponsorship now.
Oh, fuck. We're certain of one thing.
Derek.
We've outed Derek. We've lost the sponsorship.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a CEO, for fuck's sake. He can afford food. Stop eating the chunky soup.
Stop eating. Fuck me. Right. Should we move on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Did you have any large ones you wanted to talk about?
Did I have any large ones I wanted to talk about?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that, because yes. I just have to figure out what they are.
Okay. Good.
No, so, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I want to talk about time management a little bit, right? Now, this is... I've been finding it... Okay, so here's the thing, right? Since the world changed, okay, since the big Thanos snap, and we're all in quarantine, I've been finding myself busier than ever, right? Now, I know that a lot of people are having the opposite end of the problem, right? But this is because I recently became employed, and I can actually work from home, which is, Papa bless, that I can do that. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have gotten the job, right?
Yeah, sure.
But I find myself now having trouble doing all the things that I want or need to do in the day, because I have because basically while I was unemployed, I built up so many hobbies and things to do. That basically, I was only ever bored, maybe half the time. Yeah, if I was bored, right?
Yeah.
And then with everyone now being quarantined in, I have more people than ever who want to do stuff with me online.
Oh, I see.
And yeah, so I've got a lot of people who want to do stuff with me online. And then I have all of my hobbies, I have my job, and on top of that, the Final Fantasy VII remake came out, which I have been really, really dying to play. Like, absolutely, I want to get in on this, but so far I've only managed to play it for like 2 days.
Yeah.
I had to borrow a PS4, by the way, just so that I could play it.
Oh, well.
Yeah, so my question is, like, how do you go about managing, like, your daily schedules? Because I know before all this kicked off, I considered you to have a fairly busy life, in all honesty. Like, a lot of the time I'll speak to you and you'll be like, oh, I've got plans for here and there and da 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 da. I'm
Yeah.
like, fucking Jesus Christ, that is raw. Um, so go on. What's your pro tips for
Oh,
like
mate.
managing your own time? Give me some insight. Give me some of that juicy knowledge.
So
Some of
my
that
life has
chunky knowledge.
fallen apart, and
Fuck. Fuck. Oh
so
no.
to be honest, dude, I've been kind of having the same thing,
Okay.
in a weird way. So I feel busier now than ever, but not with kind of not with my hobbies, with just more so with work. And I think
Mhm.
it's like the whole working from home thing has kind of blurred the line between when to switch off and when to switch on in terms of work mode. Um,
Okay.
so I can start work at like 9, and then just kind of do my thing throughout the day.
Yep.
Um, but it's more tempting to like take a bit longer of a break, or just to kind of distract yourself with other stuff around the house.
Yeah.
And then because of that, I kind of counterbalance that by working much later than 5, but
Mhm.
sometimes it's way too late. So,
Yeah.
I'll be working at like
Like 10
8,
p.m. or
8,
something,
9 or
right?
10, yeah, some
Yeah.
nights. And it's like, it's not good. And I think it's that accessibility and that kind of blurred line as
Yeah.
well. Like if, with working in an office, if I have to be somewhere at 9 and then I know my thing ends at 5, um, every second I stay after 5, I know is like overtime.
Mhm.
I'm well aware of like, oh man, like, I should have left like half an hour ago, and my train's in like 20 minutes and blah blah blah. And it's a lot easier to quantify how late you're working, and if you should even be working or anything like that. Whereas
Yeah.
at home, it's just skewed because you're like, well, I don't know, I'm not really focused right now, so I'm going to have like an hour break, and then it's fine because I can just work till as late as I want to. And that's not a healthy way to approach it,
Mm.
um, but it's something I'm like definitely struggling with.
Well, actually, I'm not sure. So here's the thing. I think I agree with you with a lot of what you've said, actually. Um, but I think one thing that maybe I'm not sure if I agree with is the comment about it not being that healthy to do. Like, I think working a lot is very unhealthy, or being in a permanent mindset of work is very unhealthy. But I'm in the same sort of boat with you in that actually I'll put my hands up. Yesterday, okay, after 2 p.m. I just couldn't focus at all. I could not focus on anything. I had zero attention span, right?
Mm,
Which is why I actually plan on doing a bit of work today. But because I had no attention span, I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just do my own thing for a bit, and then I'll put in some hours either later or tomorrow to make up for it. I think the problem is people who work more hours than they should be. In all honesty, like I think it's fine to to spread out, and say you're supposed to do 7.5 hours work a day, I think it's fine to spread that out over the course of, an 18-hour period.
Yeah.
Just so long as you are only spending 7.5 hours doing it. And now, if you're thinking of work, I think that, in all honesty, you're working, if that makes sense. Like, that's always been
Yeah.
my mental mindset, is that if you are thinking about work, at that moment, you are working.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest, I find it quite easy to a degree to just switch off and go, I'm done. I'm done with being in work mode or thinking about work. I'm now doing my own things. And yeah, occasionally my mind might, sort of wander back. But the second it does, I'm like, hang on, why am I thinking about work? I'm not working right now, so fuck it, I'm gonna think about whatever I'm doing in this very moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying about sort of you might take a break here or there and then work a little bit later into the evening to get something done. As long as everything that's always been my mindset as well. Like, as long as stuff is done on time, it doesn't really matter when you do it, right?
Yeah, sure.
Like
I agree with that.
From a business slash managerial perspective, I've never understood people who want things done in very, very strict work hours. I'm like, if something is done before the deadline, why should it matter? And I understand like things like communication, or if you're holding somebody else up. But then that's just a case of you need to be managing your own time better and being aware of other people's deadlines, right?
Yeah.
Because then those shift your deadlines.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was something that I became. So I was very bad at Bossa in terms of like working lots of extra hours. Right, I worked like crunch was crazy. Like, I spent a lot of extra time in the office, just to get things done, and that was my choice. Right, it wasn't like expected of me. It was just a case of, well, if I want to get these things done, they need to get done.
Yeah.
So yeah, they got done, but I think going through that has sort of led me down a path of realization that you need to be able to control your work life balance in that regard. So I don't know. I don't know if I've got any pro tips that could actually help you out there in terms of like just make sure that you spend at least you take at least like an hour or an hour and a half before you go to bed, right? For yourself.
Oh yeah, for
Because
sure.
the worst thing you can do is finish working and then go straight to bed.
Yeah.
Because that and then immediately wake up and start working again. Because that's when you get in a super unhealthy mindset. Super unhealthy.
So, in terms of like keeping busy and like doing hobbies and stuff, um, yeah, that's been a bit weird as well because I've had to shift kind of what I've been doing. Um, so like usually every weekend I'd go and have like band rehearsals.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gone out the window. The other thing I do a lot of is like just generally seeing family.
Yeah.
So like I've just been FaceTiming and stuff instead, which kind of fills the gap.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite nice. But yeah, in terms of music, it's a lot harder to jam with yourself.
Yeah,
But
them like with a band, right?
yeah, but I think like I think overall people have more interest than they realize they have. It's more routine
Yeah.
that they're
Mm-hmm.
like your hobby is almost your routine of your hobbies
Mm-hmm.
instead of thinking about something else that you'd actually enjoy doing and then doing that instead.
Yeah.
So I think that's more what it is. Like I've been definitely playing a lot more games in the
Mm-hmm.
past few weeks because I really enjoy that and I've obviously got time for it. Like the trouble with having so many hobbies is that it competes for your time
Mm-hmm.
and you
Yeah.
just like you have to like make a decision as to which one's gonna
Which one's
go.
gonna win out?
Yeah. Um. So with gaming, that's like winning at the moment.
Mm.
Music is kind of second, and then um. Oh, and watching stuff as well on like Netflix and that.
Yeah.
That's definitely yeah. That's that. I've definitely done that more in the past few weeks than I ever have. because I'm not really like a TV film person. Not that I don't enjoy them. I just like, again, it's like time. Why would I watch? Why would I watch a film when I can like play a film in a video game?
Yeah.
So that
Or why
gets
would
my
you play a video game about like stealing cars and killing people when you can just go outside and do it? Like, you know, you've got to make these calls and just decide
yeah.
which
Why
one
not
is
make a
for
game
you.
of it?
Yeah, why not make a game of it? See what the body count is. Um, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go on.
No, that was basically it. Just
Oh. Yeah.
just easier to pick something that you kind of are mildly interested in, and just try and like just give it a go, basically. See how it goes.
Yeah. So is that your pro tip for everyone who's looking for time management? Is pick something and see how it goes.
Kind of. No, it'd be like be very self-aware.
Yep.
Your time is your time, and you need to remember, like especially with not working and stuff. If you're either not working or you're working from home, it's like a same difference in my opinion. In that, like the time you would spend commuting somewhere, that's your time.
Yep.
The time you'd have on your lunch, that's your time. The time you'd get home and do nothing or do something, that's also your time. And like, just kind of recognize that you still
It's
need
all
to
your
build
time.
that in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could have gone like complete opposite with that. Just remember that that's your time, and that's it. That's all I've got to say.
Just remember, it's all your time, mate. It's all your time.
Yeah, just make time for yourself. That's basically it.
Yeah, I think I had a really good point actually that I wanted to make, which I've completely forgotten.
Nice.
So it clearly wasn't that good of a point, and my mind is completely drawing a blank. So,
however,
what I will say though is like, yeah, it does. I completely agree with you that like if you have too many hobbies, it becomes a competition for what you're going to be doing in your spare time, right? And you have to. I just think you have to really know what it is that you're looking to get out of life at this moment,
yeah. What
or
do you
maybe
want?
even in the future. Like,
What do you want?
like if you have the patience, right, to do something very, very long term that's going to yield results in a long time, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Then do it. But if you're not looking for that, if you're looking to just sort of enjoy the now and the here, then do that as well. I don't think there is any right or wrong way to live life other than like morals, right? Like, don't do anything that's morally fucked up. But
don't go out and steal someone's car.
Yeah, don't fucking murder them.
Don't do that.
Don't fucking download illegally. Speaking of which, actually, so that I remembered my point.
Oh.
So it's not. I don't know why I said speaking of which. It's nothing to do with illegally downloading. But it is to do with sort of this as a whole. So like one of the things that I wanted to say is with your time as well. If you can multitask, make sure you are.
Yeah.
So, for instance, you could be working on, or you could just be working, right? You could just be working, but then you can have like, a video on in the background, maybe a podcast, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then whilst you are still working, you're still taking in everything that's going on as well in the background to a degree.
That's true.
Obviously, there are certain things that you want to give 100% of your attention to, right? Like movies or entertainment, stuff like that. But there's a lot of things that you can just have on in the background. And for instance, Life on Mars, right?
Oh.
So, yeah, right? You recently rewatched the first season of it.
Yes.
And I'm just starting to rewatch the first season. As much as I want to sit there and give it my whole attention, like, I've already seen it the once, so I feel kind of okay with just having it on the side whilst I'm doing something else, right? because
Mhm.
I'm still going to be there for the main key beats, and I'm still going to remember everything, and it's still going to be just as impactful. It's just now I'm also, getting other things done at the same time.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, if you're doing anything like working, or maybe you're doing one of your hobbies on your computer, just remember that you can listen to our podcast at the same time. That was what I was trying to get at there. Yeah.
Nice.
Excellent. Excellente.
But I quite like that background noise kind of idea. Like I usually have the
Same.
radio on for
Yeah.
the same reason. It's kind of like it's like a white noise to keep your mind focused almost. If I don't have
Yeah.
any kind of music or any kind of background noise, my mind just tends to kind of implode, and I just start like thinking of stuff which isn't like a task that I'm supposed to be doing, or like
Yeah.
I just
I
kind of
get the
like,
same. Or you get distracted by like the odd random noise, right? So
yeah,
if you've got silence and then you hear, the sound of, say, a child crying or something like that, then it becomes very distracting, and you're sort of like, why is this happening to me? Whereas if you've sorry. Sorry.
anything you want to get off your chest, mate?
No, mate, I'm fine. But, sorry, sorry. It was just the concept that flashed through my mind of like, somebody else is in distress,
Yeah.
and I have to hear it, and I'm like, God, why is this happening to me?
Yeah. Ugh, why?
Oh God, why? Why is this happening to me of all people? This noise of someone in distress. Yeah. That's funny. But yeah, like having that noise, because then it blocks out all of those like odd random noises that happens.
Yeah.
In the silence, as it were, and you don't get so distracted. So actually, I want to hear this right now. Okay, right. Go to whatever music player you use,
Yeah.
whether that's VLC or Spotify or Deezer or whatever, right?
Mhm.
And tell me what the last song you listened to was whilst you were working.
Whilst I was
Which
working.
I imagine was, yeah. Actually, you listen to music quite a lot though. So
Yeah, I mean, I
might...
listened to music this morning when I was in the shower.
Ah, shit.
But I know I can tell you the last music I was listening to when I was working. That's fine.
Oh, okay, go on.
So it's a recent discovery for me.
Yeah.
And it's a synthwave artist. I don't know if it's a duo or just one person, but they're called Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
And they make super cool synthwave music, and it's kind of like synthwave is like really escapist, in my opinion, because it sounds so much of another time and place
Yeah.
that it just
like it gives you feelings of like nostalgia, right?
yeah, nostalgia for something you never experienced, which is a
Yeah.
weird thing. I'm sure there's like a word for that in German.
Why in German?
Because German language has like a lot of things that English language can't quite comprehend.
Yeah.
Like they've got words for stuff like
I mean, the most famous example is Schadenfreude, right?
Yeah, that's like a very good example of that. What's it called? It's like world sadness.
World
Welch.
sadness.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So Welt Schmerz. I fucking butchered
Hang
that.
on. Let me. German word for world sadness is. Oh, it's Weltschreckschreck.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me hear how Google pronounces it, and then I'll pronounce it.
Yeah, perfect. But yeah, there's loads of ideas and concepts in German in their language pool that we don't have over here. And it plays into stuff like I don't know, like being empathetic or being less ignorant of certain feelings, and like so for over there, world sadness is like a thing. People know what
Yeah.
it means, and if you say that that's how you're feeling, people understand it because it's so commonplace. Whereas over here, if you said, "Oh, I've got world sadness," they'd be like, "What the fuck does that mean?" Just to kind of explain what that is as well. It's just like when the literal state of the world gets you depressed, where you start thinking of like, "Ah, man, this whole place is just fucked."
Yeah. It's when you're in the doomer mindset, right?
Yeah.
It's literally it. So if you're a doomer, you're in permanent Welterreichkeit, is how I'm hearing Google pronounce it, and I've just butchered. So yeah, if you
You're listening to the Semi-Racism Podcast.
Welterreichkeit is roughly how I'm saying it.
Well, we're both wrong. Look it up, basically.
Bloody German language. Go on, sorry. Yeah.
But there's like loads of these kind of things. They're like untranslatable things which the English language has no grasp on.
Yeah.
Japan has a lot of them for like respect and for
That makes sense.
yeah.
They have a very sort of respect-heavy orientated sort of culture.
Yeah.
But especially in their like business scene, as it were.
Yes. And there's other things as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically it, mate.
I can't remember why we were talking about world sadness.
I actually can't really remember that either. Maybe there's a word for it.
How did we forget why we were talking about world sadness?
We've been on
a rabbit hole so far, and
yeah.
this is we don't know where we are anymore.
I don't know who I am.
Yeah, I mean, I lost consciousness 3 minutes ago. This is all automatic response.
Yeah, I know what you mean sometimes. You're just on autopilot.
Yeah. I'm not here anymore.
Yeah. You're just like, yeah. And you're like, sorry, what did you disagree to? Sorry, what? Sorry?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean, what do I mean? I said
I said what I said.
Yeah, I said what I said. I asked you specifically what you thought of the state of the economy. Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was still my response, yeah.
Well, I mean,
oh,
if you're back in the room,
yeah.
then that means you must be Vince.
Yes, yeah, I'm here now, I think. Which is actually really useful because that brings us back onto our sponsored segment, I think. So
this whole thing was like a bit.
What?
The last half an hour was a bit for the sponsor.
I think like the last 2 months was a bit. The whole fucking planet has been a bit for the past 3 or 4 months, dude.
Yeah.
Like the world as it currently stands, it's like it's literally like somebody was just there, just like, you know what, right? I'm gonna write a story where a whole continent is on fire, and then I'm gonna kill off one of the main characters called Kobe, and then fucking I'm gonna release an apocalyptic virus. I'll be fucking sick in this story. It's like, bruh, stop writing this story. It's garbage.
Yeah, throw it out.
Bin it and start again. I want Harry Potter.
Wow, Harry Potter and the lockdown virus.
Harry Potter and the quarantine of Corona.
Wow.
Harry was locked underneath his stairs for the whole year.
Yeah.
As the Dursleys wanted to stay as far away from him as possible.
Yeah.
Nobody knows if the virus can mutate magically or not.
Can I come out for dinner? Shut up, Potter. You've got COVID-19. Stay under the stairs.
Have the dust on the underside of the stairs.
Tastes like beef.
Tastes like Bovril.
Bovril dust.
Bovril dust. Well, I think that's a good episode, right? I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah, why not? I think our delirium this week has really shone through. Which is fine because, you know, if they are doing what you say and having it on in the background, they won't even have been paying attention anyway. So the fact of the matter is,
they didn't even hear the part where you spoke French for a whole minute. They didn't even hear. I guarantee you, they missed that.
Yeah, and if they tried going back, they wouldn't even find it.
Yeah, cause it made it harder because I was just responding in English as if there was no change in what was going on. It was so subtle.
Oui.
Yeah. So if you go back and you hear it, drop a time stamp.
Yeah.
Drop a time in the comments below.
Anytime.
Let us know that you heard Craig speaking Le French. What is that half-assed? Like, not even Le Français, like Le French.
Le French. That's how everyone in school used to speak French in their like speaking exams. Je m'appelle Craig. J'adore cycling.
Mon anniversaire, Kratu September.
Kratu.
Kratu. Nice. And if you don't hear the part where he spoke French, well, then you've got to subscribe and like for more content.
Yeah, and leave a timestamp where I don't speak French.
yeah. Comment on every section that Craig isn't speaking French.
Oh God, please.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, next week we're gonna have a special guest, so stay tuned for that. That's gonna be fantastic. Are you excited? I'm excited.
I'm hyped, mate.
What do you think of the person that we're having on next week?
I'll be honest.
Right.
I'll be super honest with you.
Uh-huh. All right, bye everyone.
Well, I'm glad you cut that bit out because, yeah, that's a bit rude.
Yeah, that's why I ended it so abrupt. I was like, Jesus, why are you savaging them so much? Like, I know that we said that he fucking eats chunky soup, but fucking hell.
Look, mate, if they're coming on next week, yeah, I don't know. I might have to make myself busy.
All right. Yeah, that's understandable. I think I will as well. They can do it themselves, just so I can dislike the video afterwards.
Perfect.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Next time, and goodbye.
See you later.